Hello, everybody. This is John Paval with the Access Arts Live weekly big stage live stream action roundup for the week of December 8th to the 15th. And by big stages, we mean orchestral works, we mean large-scale choral works, we mean opera and ballet when we have them, which we don't this week. But we have plenty of orchestral and choral works for you, which I can't wait to tell you about. Before I say anything else, I want to remind you that if you're watching this on Facebook, do yourself a favor and like the video. If you're watching this on any of our other platforms, we would ask you to follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, X, TikTok, or LinkedIn to make sure that you get more than 1,000 live streams in the coming year. That's how many we give out every year. I'm going to take 1 second here to try to add in our friends on Instagram who have not been clued into this broadcast yet. And it's important because if the broadcast goes for over 20 minutes, I cannot load the replay on to Instagram. But this will only take a second, folks. Well, it'll take 30 seconds. But I think they are with us now, and I will be able to add them as soon as the video appears on the Instagram page. Folks, we have got a great lineup for you today. We have orchestral works from Tomsk, Siberia to Sao Paolo, Brazil, from Bournemouth in the UK to Berlin, top soloists like pianist Yuliana Avdeeva, soprano the Greek soprano Aphrodite Patoulidou. We've got 2 organs mixed in with orchestral events and a Christmas concert of Latin American songs performed in Germany under the leadership of an Israeli conductor. Now, for me, that's what the performing arts are all about, and the way in which we can bring people together all over the world. And now Instagram is online with the rest of us. So I can get to the first of this week's lineup, which will be the concert from Bournemouth that I just mentioned to you. And that's Mark Wigglesworth there and Yuliana Avdeeva, the superb pianist. Wednesday, December 10th, the Bournemouth Symphony hosts a superb pianist, Yuliana Avdeeva, to play Brahms's Piano Concerto No. 1. That'll be at 6:30 in the evening European time, because it's at 7:30 in the evening in the UK, noon on the East Coast, and 9:30 in the morning on the West Coast. It is not free of charge. It will cost you £11 to watch it. But I'm telling you, if there's a pianist in the world who's worth paying £11 to watch, it's Yuliana Avdeeva. Let me tell you what they're playing. They're playing Aaron J. Kernis's Musica Celestis, composed in 1990. If you don't know Kernis, he's born in 1960. That would make him about 65 now. He's a Pulitzer Prize and Grammy Award winning composer on the faculty at the Yale School of Music. For about 15 years, he was the artistic advisor to the Minnesota Orchestra and director of their Composers Institute. Now he's a director of the Nashville Symphony's Composer Lab, lives in New York City with his wife, and so you might want to discover Musica Celeste. Then they'll do Mozart Symphony No. 39 in E-flat major, Koschel No. 543. Everybody's throwing in Mozart symphonies. It's 39, it's 40, it's 41. It's like every week I'm mentioning 1 or 2 orchestras. Last week it was 2 of them doing the Jupiter Symphony. So, and this is not a particular Mozart celebration. It's just one of those fads that people have all over the world. The conductor is Mark Wigglesworth. He's also the principal guest conductor. No, he was the principal guest conductor at the Adelaide Symphony Orchestra in 2018, and they made him their chief conductor. in 2024. And in 2021, he guest conducted the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra and as the principal guest conductor, and then they made him their chief conductor. So that's what he does. He moves in. Anyway, Yuliana Avdeeva will be then playing the Brahms Piano Concerto No. 1 in D minor in the second half of the program, which is not usually the way this is done. But anyway, she's Russian originally, went to Gnessen, but then she finished up in Zurich at the University of the Arts there. She won the Chopin International Piano Competition in 2010, that skyrockets any pianist to fame thereafter. During the pandemic, she was live streaming Bach in regular podcasts to stay in touch with her public. She's put out 3 albums in the last 3 years. She's also going around. She was a judge at the Chopin competition this year and played a couple of concerts for them. One which was a 4-piano concert with her and Bruce Liu and Garrick Olson and Dang Tai Sun, which was just incredible. Anyway, she also plays a fair amount of chamber music. She has been working with Shostakovich's 24 Preludes and Fugues on a regular basis, performing them. She'll be performing them this next week at the Círculo de Bellas Artes in Madrid, all the way through. And she also plays with the Balsea quartet, and she'll be in Gävle, Sweden. For those of you who are Swedish followers of this channel, I'm in Stockholm. I may go up for this concert. January 16th, she'll be playing Mieczysław Weinberg's piano quintet. She'll be playing that. She'll be playing the Mieczysław Weinberg's piano quintet in Hamburg, Berlin, Madrid, Vienna, and around. But in Gävle, she'll be with the orchestra there on January 16th playing the concerto. Check it out. This will be a fine concert. Okay, then we move on to the next concert, again in the Nordic region. And this next one is called Encounter by the orchestra that's putting it on. Thursday, December 11th, Ryan Bancroft visits Espoo, Finland once again to conduct the Tapiola Sinfonietta and meet its new artistic partner, the cellist conductor Nicola Altstaedt, in a program of Walton's cello concerto, Gubai Delina's fairy tale about a piece of chalk which dreams of drawing castles and gardens, and Dvorak's New World Symphony. That's at 6:30 in the evening Eastern European time on Thursday. So it'll be at 5:30 in the evening in Europe, 11:30 in the morning on the East Coast, 8:30 in the morning on the West Coast. Gubai Delina was she composed this piece back in 1971. It's called the Fairy Tale Poem, but she was part of a group of Soviet and Russian composers who were intensely disliked by people at the KGB and other Soviet authorities back in the days. And she survived, only passed away recently. And William Walton is a 20th century British composer who sort of falls into the gap between Vaughan Williams and people like Benjamin Britten, whom he knew and was friends with. And Ryan Bancroft has been an artistic advisor and artistic partner with the Tapiola Sinfonietta for a long time, because he's in Stockholm, so he can shuttle up and back between them. And Nicola Altstaedt is a new artistic partner, so this is their meeting up for the first time. After that, then we get to this multicultural Christmas concert that I had mentioned to you. This is Israeli-born director Yuval Weinberg leads the Stuttgart-based SWR vocal ensemble in a program of old and new Christmas songs from Latin America on Thursday, December 11th, live streamed on the ARD Classic YouTube channel. That'll be at 8 o'clock in the evening in Europe, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast, 11 in the morning on the West Coast. This is Yuval Weinberg, originally from Israel, but he studied in Berlin and then at the Norwegian Academy of Music in Oslo. And then he was conducting up there with different groups, with choral groups like the Norwegian National Youth Choir. And since 2021, he's been chief conductor of this SWR vocal ensemble. But I just think it's terrific that you have an Israeli conductor, meaning Jewish, I presume, conducting a German vocal ensemble, and they're singing Christmas songs from Latin America. I mean, I could give you the list, but I don't recognize any of these people. It's people like Juan de Araujo, Georgina Perazzo, Juan Garcia de Cespedes. If you're interested, just tune in. Now, and this is free of charge because it's on ARD Classic. There's more coming up on Friday, though, to tell you about. So let me do that. What's next after that? Yes. Here's another interesting sort of cross-cultural phenomenon or event. Friday, December 12th, the Helsinki Phil live streams a concert suffused with what they call wonder and fantasy under virtuoso violinist conductor Pekka Kuusisto and the rising star soprano, the Greek soprano, Aphrodite Patoulidou, singing Britain and Netzel, among other things. And that'll be at 6:45 Eastern European time, 5:45 in Europe, in the rest of Europe, 11:45 in the morning on the East Coast, and 8:45 in the morning on the West Coast. 1:45 a.m. down under in Australia, if you want to stay up late for it. They'll be doing Laura Netzel's Fantasia and Britain's Les Illuminations, the Illuminations, and that will be with Patoulidou. Then they'll be doing a piece by Ellen Reid, just composed a year ago, called Body Cosmic, which is a tone poem about pregnancy and childbirth. And that was co-commissioned by Helsinki, the Concertgebouw, the Orchestra de Paris, and Carnegie Hall. Ellen Reid, if you don't know her, she's a contemporary American composer who got a Pulitzer Prize for her opera Prism, Prism. And then they will finish up with another contemporary composer, Anders Hillberg, his piece 11 Gates, and he's a Swedish composer. So this is, Nordic and Swedish and Finnish and with a Greek soprano. As for Patoulidou, she came up through Barbara Hannigan's Young Artist Initiative. And then after that, she had debuts with Radio France, the Gothenburg Symphony, Munich, the SWR Symphony, Concertgebouw, Cleveland, etc. And she's already sung with the Berlin Staatsoper at La Monnaie in Brussels, with the Teatro Real in Madrid, toured Europe with the London Symphony Orchestra, etc. So it looks like it'll be a very lively concert. And the Los Angeles Daily News had this to say about Hillberg's 11 Gates when it came through LA. And they said, the piece is so captivating that I was sorry to hear it end. So you might want to tune into that one too. And that's free of charge too on the, we'll give you the link. And I'll also try to give you the link to Aphrodite Patoulidou's biography. She's represented by Ascona Holt. A phenomenon, you could say. Also on Friday, we're not done. You have so many choices on Friday, and they fall into place one after the other. They're not all at the same time, but they sort of overlap. This next one is from Artbene, which I usually treat in the organ section, but this one there's an orchestra. Artbene live streams the Moscow Regional Philharmonic under Viktor Lutsenko, playing the Seasons by Vivaldi and by Astor Piazzolla at the Roman Catholic Cathedral in Moscow, with resident organist Marina Omelchenko and violinist William Kalo, who's a young guy. That's at 7 in the evening, so it's a little later than the Helsinki Phil. European time, 1 o'clock on the East Coast, 10 in the morning on the West Coast. You know, both Vivaldi and Piazzolla wrote Four Seasons. The difference is that Vivaldi's is really about the essence of each season, whereas Piazzolla's is about the seasons in different places, specifically in Buenos Aires. So it's about the summer, the winter, the fall, and the spring in Buenos Aires. It's localized, it's concretized. Anyway, this is your chance to hear these two pieces together. Not your only chance. It's done from time to time, but here's an opportunity, free of charge. That's not all on Friday. There's yet another concert that weighs in an hour later. And again, we're into contemporary music. It isn't all that often that you get to hear a composer conduct his own music, but Jörg Wiedmann does so on Friday, December 12th, leading the Cologne Philharmonic in his Babylon Suite and in Schumann's Symphony No. 2. That'll be at 8 o'clock in the evening on Friday, 2 o'clock in Europe, 2 o'clock on the East Coast, 11 in the morning on the West Coast. The Babylon Suite, which was the Munich composer Jörg Wiedmann composed, is an orchestral excerpt from his opera Babylon, which premiered about a decade ago in 2012. He's also a clarinetist and he's also a conductor, so he's conducting his own work here, and he's very passionate about Schumann. So he's conducting his own work, which he's passionate about, and Schumann's work. He's about 50 years old, and in 2023, he was the third most performed living contemporary composer in the world. So he's done concertos, operas, oratorios, cantatas. He was a resident composer with the Gewandhaus Orchestra in Leipzig, with the Berlin Phil. He did a residency at the Salzburg Festival at one point, and then with the LA Phil. So he's a man esteemed in the institutional world, and can be worth your while to discover. Okay, then we move on to Saturday, I believe. So I think you had 4 choices there on Friday, and you have fewer choices on Saturday and Sunday, at least in terms of orchestral works, things that are that big. There will be some organ stuff, and there will be, I'm sure there's some chamber music to be enjoyed. The Berlin Philharmonic hosts top conductor Andris Nelson, so for the 15th time, top violinist Benjamin Beilman, and organ phenom Jan Lieberman, Saturday, December 13th, playing Marcel Dupré, Dvorak's Violin Concerto, and Shostakovich's 10th. Interesting concert here. Jan Lieberman, he's a young guy. Now, listen, if you've been following Access Art Live, you would already have heard him, because a year ago, last October 2024, he played a concert at Truro Cathedral, which was live streamed and which we told you about. You got to subscribe to this stuff. You'll see everything. You'll see all of these people again and again. Anyway, I don't know if this is becoming a thing, but a couple of weeks ago, the Cologne Phil had Thomas Hospital, from the resident organist from St. Eustache, playing in a symphonic concert, and part of what he played was a Mozart organ and orchestra piece, but he also then just he played a piece by Jehan Alain by himself and an encore. So they're bringing in this young guy, and he's playing some extracts from Marcel Dupré's 4 pieces for organ, the Cortege and the Litany. And so I don't know, is this a trend to bring in organists? He's a student too. He's a young guy. He's only 20 years old, studying at the Munich Hochschule. But he's won. It looks like every time he gets in an organ competition, he wins. So he's he's won them all over the place, like a half a dozen organ competitions, first or second prize. And he's already played with the Berlin Phil at the Mupa in Budapest, with the Essen Philharmonic, at Freiburg Cathedral, Westminster Abbey, Salisbury Cathedral, King's College, Cambridge. So, and last year in 2024, he performed all 6 of Bach's trio sonatas from memory. In fact, everything he plays from memory. That's one of his things. Who knew? He's a phenomenon. Then Benjamin Beilman, who has played with this orchestra before when they were on tour in the U.S. last year, will do the Dvorak Violin Concerto in A minor. He's sure to do a good job of it. And then they'll finish up with this Shostakovich's Symphony No. 10 in E minor, Opus 93. I want to talk a little bit about it because Andres Nelson, when he debuted with the Berlin Phil 15 years ago, he did so with another Shostakovich symphony. And this symphony was published in 1953 by Shostakovich, not long, shortly after Joe Stalin died. So he didn't just make it up after Stalin died, and it is a response to Joseph Stalin. So he had this in the can. He was just waiting for Stalin to die so he could pop this out. And there's a scherzo section in it, which has like the brutal sound of machinery and all of that, which he referred to apparently as a portrait of Stalin, the Iron Man. And his own name, Shostakovich's own name, DSCH, which is D, E flat, C, and B natural in Russian, is there in that Stalin scherzo, and it's there at the end of the symphony. So this is a very personal kind of statement by Shostakovich. If you're a Shostakovich lover, as I am, I invite you to be one too. But you won't see this for free because they don't give it away at the Berlin Phil. It will be €9.90. We have 2 more live streams to tell you about, folks, and then I can wrap this up for this week. But I hope that's interesting to you when I throw in these little tidbits like that about Shostakovich's 10th. This next concert, I like this guy. French horn player and conductor Zakhar Nikiforov leads the Tomsk Philharmonic in a concert of music for brass ensembles by Rimsky-Korsakov, Stravinsky, Piazzolla, Saint-Preux, and contemporary composer Olga Kegorodova, who lives in Nizhny Tagil, Russia. Out there in Siberia, I guess. I don't know. It's a woodwinds concert, and or a brass ensemble concert is what it is. I don't know why it's. I think the Russian translation into English translated brass as woodwinds. That isn't it. It's at 6:00 Sunday Krat time, which makes it noon in Europe. 6 in the morning on the East Coast. 3:00 if you're staying up late in LA. Saturday night, and 10 p.m. in the evening, Sunday evening, down under in Australia. Zakhar Nikiforov has been with the Tomsk Philharmonic since 2015. Sometimes he does solos as a playing the French horn, and sometimes they conduct. And this concert is all about how the brass musicians are feeling frustrated that contemporary composers are not composing enough for them. So they actually held a composers competition for composing new works for brass, which had about 60 composers participated in a series of workshops and all of that. And this piece by Olga Kegorodova was one of the prize winners in that competition, so they'll be playing it. So if you love brass, here's a chance to hear it. By the way, there will be another brass concert, organ and brass concert, on Sunday from the Eccles Organ Festival, but I'll be talking about that tomorrow when I talk about the Eccles Organ Festival. Anyway, that's coming out of Siberia. And then finally, we have one last proper concert to tell you about. And then maybe an honorable mention. I allow myself 30 minutes for these things because that's what it takes to do justice to these things and not just blah, 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 rip them all off. There you go. Okay. Sunday, December 14th, the Cincinnati Pops, with the popular guest vocalist Cody Fry, And conductor John Morris Russell live streams its holiday concert with choruses and dancers from around the town of Cincinnati joining in the festivities. If you want a Christmas festivity concert, this is for you. It's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Cincinnati time, which will make it 11 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning on the West Coast, and 8 o'clock in the evening here in Europe. If you're in Europe and you don't know how the Americans do their concerts, this is your chance to enjoy one. You know, they'll be having school choruses and dance programs, and everybody gets in on the act. The LA Phil used to do a great one like that. I don't know if they still do it anymore, or the LA Concert House. So that's what we have for you this week. Now there may be one more that I'm just not sure of it, so I can't vouch for it. And the one more is that the Sao Paolo Symphony and Chorus is doing Tchaikovsky's Sixth Symphony, the Pathétique, and Puccini's Messa di Gloria this weekend. They're doing it on Thursday and on Saturday. And I had information that they were live streaming it on Friday, but their website doesn't say it was live streaming it. If it's on Saturday, which I'm guessing it'll be at 4:30 Brazilian time, which will be 3:30 in New York, 12:30 in the half past lunchtime in Los Angeles, and 9:30 in the evening here in Europe. But I just cannot, I'm not able to verify at this point in time whether that is the case. I mean, I just couldn't get that much of a verification. So, in conclusion, if you're watching this on Facebook, I ask you once again to like the video. If you're watching this on any of our other platforms, do yourself a favor. We put out more than 1,000 live links to live performances online every year. And if you love the performing arts, chamber music, orchestras, recitals, soloists, opera, theater, ballet, you can find it here, and 90% of it is free of charge. So do seriously think about following and or subscribing to Access Arts Live. We are on YouTube, Facebook, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and LinkedIn. We're wherever you are, because we want to make it very easy wherever you hang out, just to swing over to the Access Arts Live page in the middle of your day and find out, hey, is there a live stream that I can enjoy now or later today or tomorrow? Ciao for now. I'll be back tomorrow with the organ live stream roundup and with the chamber music live stream roundup for this week. And thank you so much for tuning in.